HARK, we are here. It is time for yet another Shadows of the Galaxy set review. We have Command today. Remember, this is not a tier list. This is just my choice of cards that I think are going to be the most impactful or potentially the top cards to be able to play in Shadows of the Galaxy and their comparison to other things that we have on the board. So without any further ado, let's get into these Command cards. Right off the bat, we're going to get started with everybody's least favorite Muppet. This is Salacious Crumb, Obnoxious Pet, 1 cost, 1/3 Underworld creature. When played, heal 1 damage from your base. As an action, exhaust and return this unit to its owner's hand. Deal 1 damage to a ground unit. Salacious Crumb, Underworld, going to be used in a lot of Command Underworld decks. The reason why this is on here is its combo with Lady Proxima. You play Lady Proxima, you play Crumb, you deal damage with Lady Proxima, you heal the damage if you have anything, you return Crumb back to your hand, deal damage to a ground unit, play it again in the same round if you have the resources, heal a damage from your base, plank something off of your opponent's side with Lady Proxima, and you just cycle that over and over and over. Each of them only a 1 cost, so if you've got 3 of each in your deck, you have a lot of opportunities to be able to do some fun stuff with Crumb and Proxima. And while Proxima is not a command card, it is something you do have to pay attention to with all Underworld strategies because she is aspectless, a 1 cost, and a 4 health with a very relevant ability. So pay attention to that. Crumb, again, obvious, card is obvious. Next, we have Maul, Shadow Collective Visionary, 7 cost, 7/6 Force. Underworld Force is going to be very important on this card. Ambush, Overwhelm, absolutely insane, comparable to Vader with just these effects alone. But in addition, we have on attack, you may choose another friendly Underworld unit. If you do, all combat damage that would be dealt to this unit during this attack is dealt to the chosen unit instead. So you drop Maul, use the ambush to be able to attack, use the on attack to be able to say, hey, that Underworld unit's going to take the damage that Maul would take normally. And if you're attacking a low health unit, you deal a ton of damage to your opponent's base. If you go after a high health units, you just clear it off the board, and then Maul doesn't take any damage on the crackback, and then Maul can go on and do Maul things. This is an absolutely fantastic card, and in combination with the next card is going to be an absolute monster and mainstay in Command villainy strategies. Speaking of Command villainy, we've got Palpatine's Return here, a 6 cost event that allows you to play any unit from your discard pile. It costs 6 less. So if it's got 6 or less as its cost, it's free. If it's a Force unit, it's 8 or less instead. Palpatine's Return, as you'll remember, is a card that I previewed. A lot of people had a lot of discussions about it. I think this is actually one of the best cards that's in this set because it allows Command villainy to just have shenanigans with stuff in the discard pile. And there is a leader in this set that happens to discard things. So keep that in mind as you're going through your strategies for Shadows of the Galaxy. Beyond that, Palpatine's Return and Maul, Palpatine's Return and Palpatine, Palpatine's Return and Vader, all absolutely shenanigan combos that are going to be able to give you a whole lot of stuff, especially Maul and Vader, who can ambush on play from Palpatine's Return. And even Palpatine can just shock everybody with his 6 damage that he's dealing to clear a bunch of stuff off the board. In addition, a card we're going to see later, Snoke, combos very well with this as well, because if you're playing Vigilance Command, he comes into play for free because he is a Force unit and just Elish Norns your opponent's side of the board. Not your side of the board, because why would things be balanced? Next, we have Modded Cohort here, 4 cost, 2/4 Ambush Raid 2. This is Command's Rogue Operative. It's not a Rebel, but that's fine because it's Underworld, which means it's going to mesh with Heroism Underworld strategies that are going to be spilling out of Shadows of the Galaxy. Obviously, this is very good in the Heroism Boba Fett, but this is just a really good card in and of itself because it does ambush as a 4/4, which means it can clear other things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to clear otherwise with its only 2 power. But if it's gaining any sorts of other bonuses as a result of being played or something else is on the board that aids this, you get to deal the extra damage with Modded Cohort, and this is going to be one of the clear winners here of Command Heroism. Cobb Vanth here, the Marshal, 3 cost, 3/2. When defeated, search the top 10 cards of your deck for a unit that costs 2 or less and discard it. For this phase, you may play that card from the discard pile for free. I was a little bit down on the effect in general, and I kind of still am, but the strength of being able to effectively play 2 units for 3 cost at 2 separate steps is not something you can discount in our game. Being able to do multiple things, even if it's laid with a single action or a single card, is going to be very handy moving forward. And if all you need to do is just discard a card, Cobb Vanth does that for you. You don't have to play it for free later, but you probably will at least want to be able to do extra things with Cobb in your deck. We have the Arquitens Assault Cruiser, 8 cost, 7/8 vehicle capital ship with ambush. So it's ambushing against anything and probably going to clear almost any space unit that exists in the game except for your big Star Destroyers. When this unit attacks and defeats a non-leader unit, put the defeated unit into play as a resource under your control. So if you're ambushing into something and you clear it off the board, you're going to be able to get to ramp yourself with resources. And if you're playing, say, Endless Legions, and this thing's clearing out a bunch of units, you can end up playing a bunch of your opponent's strategy against them with that card if you're playing double command. The only reason why Endless Legion isn't on this list is because I don't think the card support is there specifically for it just yet, but it's still a massive swing of power if you're able to get some extra stuff into play with that card. And this assault cruiser allows you to do that even better because you're using your opponent's cards to fuel your resources, and then you can flip them into units under your control to beat them in the face with them. And that's fantastic. Bounty Hunter's Quarry is probably one of the best upgrades you get because it's a 1 cost attached bounty to your opponent. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for a unit that costs 3 or less and put it into play for free. But if the bountied unit is a unique, you search the top 10 cards instead. So this is going to be a net positive gain in resources because this only costs 1. And if your unit, to be able to clear your opponent's bountied unit on the board, is ready to go, you don't have to worry about anything else. If it's a unique, which there's a lot of low cost, low health unique units you can clear very easily, you get 10 cards to search through. Otherwise, 5 cards for 3 or less ain't that hard to deal with. So this is one of the premier bounties you're going to see in Shadows of the Galaxy. The next one, of course, Price on Your Head. We talked about this at length. It's a 2 cost, so it's a little bit expensive, but it does allow you to ramp when you clear the bountied target. The last card we have here, Timely Intervention, one of the earliest cards we saw in Shadows of the Galaxy. Still one of the strongest cards that we have coming out of this, a 1 cost event that puts a unit in play from your hand, paying its cost, giving it ambush. So it's ECL on crack with the card from your hand, but for 2 cost and Timely Intervention from your resources, you get to do the same thing, ambushing in a unit from your hand without having to spend the resource cost of the Timely Intervention from your hand, and you still get a resource back from the smuggle. Timely Intervention, absolutely insane card here. Just ambush any unit in your hand. That's all it says. As long as you can pay the cost, you're good. Ambush an Avenger, ambush a Rancor, ambush a Crate Dragon, ambush anything to your heart's content so long as you can pay the cost. And there you have it, Command. I think the clear winner for Command moving into set 2 is Command Villainy. There's so many good things that Command Agnostic can get that can be put into Command Villainy, along with the Command Villainy cards that already exist and new Command Villainy cards that are coming out with this set. That means that if you're running that strategy, you're already in a good spot, and you just need to pick another style aspect to go with your Command Villainy strategies. So your Gideons, your Jabbas, your Tarkins, your Palpatines, they're going to be very strong moving forward, and any other leader that combos into Command as the villainy aspect on your leader is going to be very strong with the cards that we're getting in this set. So hopefully this helps you get together what you might want to do for a deck build. Lots of different discussion points that we've had here. Let me know in the comments below what you think your favorite Command card is. Let me know if you agree with me that Villainy is the stronger of the 2 morality aspects in Command. And make sure to like and comment on this video. Subscribe to the channel here for all of your lovely Star Wars Unlimited needs. If you want to support me, you know how to do so. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. We'll see you all in the next one. And with that, I will see you in the stars.